Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial on how to build responsive landing web page for fictional company. This is how the website looks like in desktop, and there is some animations, and this is how it looks on mobile. It's fully responsive, so let's get ready to work because it's a lot of stuff to cover. Here I provide the GitHub repository that you can download. There is not much there, just some images. So let's start. First, because we use SAS for writing our CSS. If you want to follow along, just install the SAS package with G flag, which stands for global. Currently I have it installed. You should install it globally. If you don't want globally, you can start locally and just have to you have here not models folder with the SAS package installed and just have to provide the path but since I have it globally, I can just say SAS, and here it's SAS./landing page. We don't have this folder yet, we have to create it. And also this file landing page SAS, and what it will do, it will compile all this code that we have here. So for example, let's write if we run npm run start now, it will create this folder CSS and just compile this code, which is not much currently. And we can just come here. I open this page. Right now it's not working because I haven't included this CSS file. Here I provide link to stuff that we're gonna use, Google Fonts and Font Awesome. So let's give it style sheets and grep css styles.css. And now it should work. Yeah, we have a red background. So let's start with SAS structure. This is what I usually do. I create a couple of folders. One I called common. Here I put common stuff. And one I called layouts. Here I put layouts for the page. So in common I usually also create a couple of folders. One is abstracts, one I called base, and one I called utils. So let's start from abstracts. Here I create a couple of files. One is for form elements. In SAS you have to start the file with dot underscore if you want to include it. And the other one I called mixins to write mixins there. So let's actually copy and paste a mixin that we're gonna use a lot. This is for responsive breakpoints. We will see how we're gonna use it later. We're gonna use this a lot. Here we'll not write anything for now. Later we'll write some code. Here we'll write in utils. I'll write file called utils.sas, and actually I'm gonna copy and paste some stuff that we're gonna use later. Maybe I'll add a couple of more class. This is nothing, just some util class like here, like just reds for color red. Nothing fancy. Here is more interesting in base. We'll create this file base.sas, And here I define couple of important stuff that I usually include in my project. This is default stuff. We remove margin and padding from the elements. Here we define font size. So for larger screens, as you can see, we use this mixin. We increase the percentage, so font will be bigger on larger screens. Here is just some default stuff that I put, and here in body I also put about font, couple of stuff. Copy and paste. So I defined the font family, Roboto, and here some color to the page for the text default and some background color to the page. And now in order to use all these files, we have to include them here. So import common abstracts, mixins, and utils also. And here I'll also import layout, which we currently don't have. Now it will show me error, yeah. So here let's define header layout. So this will be our header. This is our header here. This whole thing with this background image is the header that will create. So currently we should have blank page. Yeah, let's remove this. So let's start define some HTML for the header. It should be in the body tag. So let's give it ID header and class header. And how we gonna do it? We want to, let's first define it in CSS. Define couple of usual stuff, width, and here I want to define min height of 100 viewport height. That's because I want the header to be this whole viewport height, and I define it min because on landscape, for example, this form could stretch, and that's why we want to, if this was just height, not min height, this form will overflow the header, which we don't want. That's why we define it with min height. And also we want to define the background image. So I'm gonna copy and paste some code here to not watch me how I write it. And here we have to add one more slash, because this is in folder CSS. You have to go one folder up to the images. So what this is, we'll put this background image in the header. Yep. And we want to define two things here, two divs. One will be for menu and one will be for the header content. So let's say this is the menu part of header, and this is the content part, text and the form. Because if you can see here, we have some text and form. So let's give them appropriate names, for example, header, menu, main, and here header, content, main, for example. Or I can use it, do it like this. So now with these two slashes we can just go, this is a good convention to follow in SAS. We can just say menu main and content main, and it will target these two divs. And let's write some more structure here. We want to add this logo and this circle here, which show this menu, and we'll start to do it first on mobile screen, because on desktop it's a bit different. We don't have this circle, we have just a menu. So let's write the HTML. We will write the logo, which will be just the image. Logo.png, out logo, and give it some class of header, menu, main, logo. Now we also want to write this. Maybe you wonder why I write input type checkbox. You'll see soon. Header, menu, main, and then we have to say checkbox and give ID of menu toggle, and now we have to write label for menu toggle. This is very important in order to work. We will use this trick in CSS to target when the checkbox is checked, so we can achieve this functionality without using JavaScript, which is good. So we have to write menu toggle for the label. Have to give it class header, menu main, and two underscores, and let's say button. And inside we have to define one span. Let's copy this. And we're gonna say this icon, because as you see, this span will be the icon in the circle, and here we have to just give it value of this empty character. So now if we reload our page, we have this big logo with this checkbox. So let's start it. Have to go menu main and target the logo. And for this, I'll copy and paste some codes. So we're gonna hide this logo on the large screen, and we just provide it, we put it position absolute and provide some width and height. So now it should be small. Yeah, let's also target the checkbox. Give it display no to hide it. Now let's also target the label, which was called button actually, because it looks like a button. can see here. And inside we have also icon, which we also have to target. So let me copy and paste some code also for this one. And explain what is it doing. Let me use Ctrl Shift and I just to format it. So what this will do, we also don't want to show, as you can see here on big screen, we don't have this circle like on small screen, so we hide it on big screen. We also give it some background, width, height, its position fixed, because as we scroll the page, as you can see, it always stays there. We give it big Z index, because we always want to be to see it, and some border radius. So now it should look like like circle. As you can see, cursor pointer is working. Now let's also write the code for these lines. So let's define position relative for them. Margin top 3.5 rem, because we want to be more in the center. And now let's target this. We first target the span, then we target the before, and then we target the after elements. And we give them width of 3 rem, height. So now if we reload, we don't see anything. That's strange. Did I save it? Yeah. So we see just one line currently, because we didn't provide for before and after element any. So we have to come here again, target this before and after pseudo elements, and say content is equal to null, because we don't have any content, but we should say position will be absolute, top 0, and also here we'll put some transition, because later we'll have animation, so we want to define this. And now if we reload again, we have this too. So what we should do is target individually before and say top -1 rem, and after pseudo element give it top 1 rem. So yeah, we should also define here, instead of top we should say left, because top we define here. Yeah. So now it looks like here. So now let's make it work to rotate when we click here. So what we should do is come here in the checkbox, and we're gonna use this checked pseudo selector. So when the checkbox is checked, and what we should do is target this the label, which have this class. So let's take the whole class, and we use the plus selector, which will select the first element in this one. So actually we don't need to use this, we can just say like this. and then target the icon inside the button with this one. Sorry. With this selector, so this should target this when the checkbox is checked, should target this span. And what we want to do is hide this this middle line when the checkbox is checked. So we can do that with background color transparent. And now we have to target the pseudo elements with before and also after. So we want to rotate them, and here we do minus. We want to rotate them when the button is clicked. No, not working currently. I think it's because of this selector here for some reason. It's not working. So what we could do is just provide the whole name of the class, and here so now it should work. Yeah, now it's working. As you can see, the middle line is just becoming background color transparent, and these two pseudo selectors are just rotating. And we have this cool animation. Now let's work on this menu here to also show it. So what we should do is come here and write code for display this menu, or just let's say menu here. And let's give it, let's say enough. And let's say class navigation enough. And here I'll just copy some code. Do not watch me how I write everything. So this is just an ordered list with some list items inside. So I'll take this class and target it here. It should be in the main menu. So let's come here. Let's write code navigation menu mobile, and then we can target list, and then we can target item. So let's start to write some code for this. Now this will be hidden on a larger screen on desktop, so first we have to say display none on larger screens. And on smaller screens it also will be hidden, so we put it visibility hidden, but we do it with visibility hidden, not with display none, because we want to animate the menu like here. You see it's coming and going, so with little animation, and we cannot do this with display none. So visibility hidden, and also set opacity to 0. We'll set this to position fixed because we also want to scroll when we scroll the page. Let's give it top 3 rem from the top and left 0. Give it width 100, and also we'll give it some transition because we'll animate it 0.4 seconds, and we also have to give it some Z index to be big, so put 1000, but it should be smaller than the Z index of the label, otherwise there will be some collision between them, so it should be smaller than this one, so I put 1000. And let's also write some code now for, currently it's not visible. Let's also write some code. Okay, let's write code now to see this menu when this button is checked. So what we should do is write checkbox checked, use this status selector, which will target the first element that is after this checkbox with this class name, so it will be this one, but they should be in the same hierarchy in the DOM. You can check in Google what this selector does, it's useful. So right now when it's clicked, we can give it opacity and visibility visible, and now we should see this menu, but for some reason we don't see it. Maybe checkbox checked, navigation up, visibility visible, opacity. Let's try it here from the console. Yeah, actually it should be here. Yeah, that's because we haven't styled the list, I think, and we didn't give any color to this. So let's style the list and see whether it will be able to see this navigation nav menu. So we'll give it width of 50%, we'll center it with margin 0 auto. We'll give it some background color of, I know this color, it's dark green. We'll give it height 0 because initially we don't want to have any height, we want to be hidden. List style, we remove this. Default styling, let's give it font size 3 rem. And also let's use display flex for the items. Flex direction will be column, so they should be in a column. Let's center them, justify consent center, and align item center, and text align center also. And also we want to have some gap between them, and also we want to write this transition here because we have animation. And also let's write some code for the item. We'll give it width of 100%, background color this one and some border radius of 1 rem, and also here we'll tag the, because the array hrefs, we'll give it some just black color so we can see them. So let's see right now if this is gonna work. No, still not working. We can't see anything. And that's because we set initially height to 0. I think here we have to target also checkbox checked navigation nav, and now we have to target the list. I think let's take the full class name and just say height 100%. No, still not visible. Why is that? So it's actually here. If we close, yep, now it's here, this is here. That's strange. Why is nothing shown? Font size 3 rem. I'm sure I missed something somewhere. Maybe because here, no, let's say important, still it's not visible. That's strange. Background color, the item should show like here. It should show like here. So I provide background color to this. I don't know why it's not showing. Now it's showing, but that means that this selector here is not working, because otherwise it should set the visibility to visible and opacity to 1. Let's try. Let's see here, visibility is visible, and the strange thing is that this selector is working, because you can see now height is 0, and now it's yeah, that's strange. It should work. Navigation enough. So let's try to visibility visible opacity 1. Nah, because I misspelled this one. Yeah, that was the mistake which happened. Yeah, now we have it. Yep, dump mistake. Okay, let's make it work now on a bigger screen also. As you can see, now it's get hidden on desktop. So we have to provide I'll copy and paste again some codes. So let's say comments here, menu for desktop screen, and I'll copy and paste these codes just to not, which is basically the same as this one, contains the same things. Just here I wrap them in span because it's needed for this animation. So let's get this class now, navigation large, and come here after this checkbox. Let's write some comments, menu and navigation large. Let's first define the structure here. We have this wrapper div which we're gonna target. Inside it we have this let's give it class logo so we can target it. And inside we have image which we also gonna target. Now let's go here after the logo. We have this navigation of desktop. Let's take this class. We have to go outside of the wrapper and target it here. And here we have lists. Inside we have item, and we also have this wrap, which is basically a span, and also we have a href tag. So basically we defined the structure that we now we just need to start it. So what we should do is, I think, hide it on smaller screens first. So let's say by default it's displaying on, and when the screen get large, it's becoming display block. So yeah, right now we have this on mobile, it's not visible. Here it's visible. So let's give it width 100%, positive 0.0. Let's give it some min height of 10 rem and some black background color. This one. So it's becoming like this currently. Let's target this wrapper class. We want to be smaller than 100%, so with 60%. And we also want to center it, and we're gonna use display flex direction row. So right now these two elements should go on one line. The logo is still pretty big, but we'll soon target it also. And let's align them, align items center, and justify content. We want some space between them. Let's put some padding. And now let's make this logo smaller. So now they should be in one line. Yeah. And this list here also will make it display flex and flex direction row to be in one row, but because we want this to take bigger space, what we're gonna do is define to all of them this flex property. Here be 1 and here will be 2. So now this list will take bigger space. Yeah, you can see. So now let's style this list. Let's remove this default list style, and also use display flex to align it in a row. Justify content center, align items center, put some gap between the items. And now it should look like this. Let's also style the items, give some bigger font size, give some cursor of pointer, remove any margin padding there. So now it looks a little bit better. So let's target this span element now, which we call trap. Let's set it to display inline block just in case it overflows. And now I want to target this after elements. first let's put to this href tag some white color to be more visible. So now we want to create this effect on hover. So how we do that? It's actually pretty easy. This after element, let's give it some display block. So this pseudo after element will be actually this border bottom. So let's define it, border bottom 3 pixel solid, and let's give it some dark blue color. So now we'll have this, but of course we don't want to show it now, we want to show it only on hover. So let's use this transform scale. So this will, it's still there, but we just use the scale X, which makes it invisible now. And now we want to target hover and then the after, and then just set this scale X to 1. So on hover of this element, this pseudo element, we give it scale X to 1, which should be its full X. So we see. The only problem is it's not animated currently, so we can come here and define some transition of, for example, 0.3 seconds. And yeah, and that's enough for this video. I think in the next video we'll create this content here, this form, and we continue.